Hello, and welcome to the third and final live event for SC4x Supply Chain Technology and Systems. My name is David Carell. I've been your course lead this whole time, and I'm very excited to be joined by our Executive Director, Dr. Eva Ponce.
Hi, Dave. Thank you so much and welcome. Welcome to this third live event in SC4x.
Today we have some important things to talk about, but hopefully it will be sort of a fun session and one that inspires you to study hard for your final exam and to not see this course as the end of your experience, but maybe the beginning of your engagement with us. Dr. Ponte has set up a lot of different opportunities for you even after SC4X.
Excellent.
So let me call up my slides. So what I'd like to talk about first is your proctoring experience. If you're watching through Slido, you should have a live opportunity there to share with us your experience. Let us know how it was, and we know that it's not always the easiest experience. So we want to talk a little about that, hopefully help you to understand why we do that and what we're hoping to achieve with the proctoring experience. I want to talk to you a little bit about your final exam. So we're opening up your study week now. But next week at this time, your exam will be open. So I want to talk to you about what to expect. I think you're all going to do great. Then, and a very important thing is the upcoming comprehensive final exam. That's the last step to earning your MicroMaster's credential. It's also a proctored exam, so now you're ready for it. And we'll talk to you about what to expect there. And then the future. I think some of you might not know all the different things that are open to you after you complete that CFX exam. So we'll give you a brief overview here, and you can always stay in contact with us as you have questions about those opportunities. So we're getting some more responses. We have a few. Please let us know what you think. In the meantime, maybe Ava and I will just kind of explain to you what we were thinking with the proctoring experience. It's an integral part of online education. We need to make sure that the assessments we offer are completed by the learner themselves, and we're really testing their knowledge. It's really for us about rigor and value of the credential.
Yeah, I fully agree, Dave. We are doing that because we really want to provide value to this MicroMaster credential. We really want that any company in the world, any university can recognize this credential. And the best way to do that is to ensure academic integrity and to be sure that the assessment is a rigorous assessment, and that, as David mentioned, that the person that is taking the exam is the person that identified by himself or herself. So it's all about ID verification and also knowledge by itself. So that's why we are doing that, because we really care of you and the credential and the value of the credential.
And I think it's really what makes the MicroMasters different. I take courses online. Many of the people in our team choose to expand our knowledge sets just like you're doing by taking different courses online. But the MicroMasters is different than something where you just check in and take a little bit here and there and try to use it later. It's really an assessment of your ability that you can carry anywhere in the world and hopefully make you more competitive as you apply for jobs and advance in your career. So it's a different thing than just getting little bits of knowledge. It's really a globally recognized test.
Yeah, and the MicroMaster is a kind of the mini part that is not mini because it's 12 in between 12 months and 18 months, but it's the first part also for a master degree. It's a pathway for a master degree at MIT and also at other universities. So since this credential is going to be recognized by credits and units of credits at different universities, that's why we want to provide a similar experience, equivalent experience in terms of content, quality of content, and rigorous as the experience that our learners at MIT on campus are having here. So this is the kind of the principles behind the MicroMaster and how we have designed this program.
And if you were, we want to get to some of your notes that some of you had some frustrating experiences. It looks like most people figured it out, and that's what we're seeing in the grade reports. But one thing, it's not the most immediate comfort, but one thing to think about is we're one of the largest MicroMasters programs around, and one of the first. And one of the challenges that Ava, as a pioneer in this field, had to figure out was how to make sure people don't cheat in a massive online global course so that the credential has value. So if it's a little bit of a rocky road to get there, it's kind of because we're pioneers in this space, and we appreciate you going on that journey with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your patience, and also the goal to introduce the proctoring test in SC4x is to prepare you for the comprehensive and final exam. We really want you to be exposed to the same proctor experience before the actual comprehensive final exam. That's why we are introducing this as part of one graded assignment in SC4x.
In a little bit, maybe even to prepare us, since we have the CFX coming in September, it's always very helpful. I'm part of the team that will help make those instructions the best we can for you. Let us know if something wasn't clear, if you think something was incorrect, because it helps us to make better instructions for you in the next run. So I see here someone wrote in, thank you so much for sharing your ideas. Slightly confused by starting the practice proctored exam before doing the graded assignment, but it was easy to understand once I figured it out.
Excellent.
Thank you. That's a good note, and we'll think about how to word that.
Yeah, definitely. As Dave mentioned, thank you for all your feedback. We really take care of that. And the team and Dave is the very first one that is reading all of this feedback, taking this into consideration, trying to improve the instructions, trying to improve the experience the next time for you. So we really appreciate that. And I can tell you that the team and Dave, they are doing an awesome job reviewing that and improving all of the instruction as much as we can. And there is a part that we know is there. You need to download the software, you need to go through the process, but it's what it is. So we are trying our best in communication and trying to explain in as clear as we can. And then we know that you need to go through the process. And yes, you are right. You need to download the software and install every single thing before taking the actual graded assignment or actual proctor exam.
And one thing that's come up from those of you that are sharing your stories with us is we'll be looking at the upload speed requirements for the proctoring technology. So I've worked with a few learners that thought maybe there was some challenges there given where they are in the world. So please share all of that information with us, and we really mean it. We want to see the details as much as you're willing to share. So even screenshots of your correspondence with the technical support teams, all of that helps us to give you the best experience we can.
Yeah, some of your requests we need to escalate to edX. So the best way for us is to attach a screenshot or as much as details as you can provide about the issue or the experience you had with this proctor exam.
So, thank you. And I see one more. Thank you so much. It's hard because you don't have a private place. I feel you, friend. A lot of us, especially when your students are maybe living in apartments where you don't have a very quiet space on your own. We'll work with you to try to give you all the rules we can, and hopefully you can find a space. I remember a story from the last CFX that was kind of funny where a learner had just moved into a new apartment with 4 flatmates, and he had to beg all of his flatmates to not be home on the morning that he took the CFX. So
did they pay for some coffee outside or something like that?
That's a good idea. Maybe you can bribe them.
Some coffee, go to the cafeteria.
Yeah. But thank you so much. And any experience, if you didn't have time to share it here, you want to think about it more, we always want to hear from you. So please send it to sc4xhelp@mit.edu. We would love to hear from you. And if you feel that you want us to know about it in reference to your SC4X grade, let us know and we'll be in contact with you on how to resolve that. So the next thing about 4X is your final exam. I'm sure it's on your minds. It's a lot like your midterm as far as structure. 4 multi-part problems, just like you've seen before. You'll have 4 hours. It covers all of the material in the course, so that is before the midterm and after. And please note that you will need your software from the pre-midterm content. So you need MySQL or SAS, depending on what you choose to use. You'll need Orange, and you will not receive feedback on your answers during the exam, just like the midterm. And some of us have communicated about that. We certainly hear you that it would be great to work back through the old problems At this point, that's not how we're viewing our assessment, so please know ahead of time, this is a pure assessment tool. You won't be seeing the exact right or wrongs.
And again, we are doing that in order to ensure academic integrity. So the same reason behind, we really want to provide, as you know, we have two parts in our courses. We have the learning environment, and we really encourage collaboration in this part, but we have also the assessment environment. And in this assessment environment, we are expecting your individual work. So it's just your work. You need to demonstrate that you have the concept and you understand the concept in order to earn the certificate. That's why it's so important. And we are not providing any feedback because this is part of the 100% assessment in the platform. So it's just the purpose of that is just to assess your knowledge. It's not to share anything with anyone or any solution. It's just to assess your knowledge. Believe me that the team, after you complete your exam, is reviewing all of the answers, all of the solutions. We are double checking, triple checking in order to be sure that the solutions are right. We are always open to any of your comments, and we take this very seriously.
Yep. And we can and do, just like Ava mentioned, if a learner makes a compelling case that we need to reconsider a grade, we have that functionality. So let us know. I can't guarantee that we'll do it every time, but if you have a compelling case, we want to hear it. We want to always improve our content.
Yeah. Sometimes if we identify any ambiguity or anything that is a fair point, we consider and we take action. So we are always open to your feedback. We evaluate that, the whole thing. We meet together and we make a final decision on that.
And that, I think, again, is kind of a difference when you think about the difference between the MicroMasters and other online courses, is that kind of connection to you, to trying to solve your specific case, is a unique feature of the MicroMasters. So hopefully that's a good thing in your eyes. And maybe the downside is that we also insist on proctoring in some of the more involved things.
Recently, we published a paper about our experience with the MicroMaster, and the title was kind of, the MicroMaster is more than the sum of 5 MOOCs. and this is one of the differences, the rigorous of the assessment.
Okay, so I've opened up a new poll, and it looks like a number of you have already voted. Are you planning to take the CFX in September? It looks like a good percentage are. That's great.
Awesome.
And it makes sense because 4X is the last course in the sequence. So just some broad strokes of details. You'll get all of these details again many times, so don't worry about memorizing them now, but just for your own planning and thinking. The next CFX will be 13 to 16 September, so coming up this fall. To take the course, you need to have passed all 5 SCX courses. So for many of you, you've done 0, 1, 2, 3, and you're just about to finish 4. It's only available online, and I saw some of you have already asked about that. We will only be offering online again.
Yeah,
this
that's
time.
correct. At the very beginning, the very first time, we also offer a physical option here at MIT. In some of our centers, members of our MIT Scale Network. However, since the last year, we are only offering this as an online experience for many different reasons. And one reason is this is an online program and a global program. We have learners from all around the world. There are more than 190 countries represented in this program. That's why we also want to provide the same experience, proctor and virtual experience, to anyone from anywhere.
And that sort of speaks to why we had you do, just like Ava said, the proctored assignment in week 9 of SC4x. Our goal is that whatever kinks you had to work out to figure out proctoring on your system, you got to do it in SC4x when there were really minor, if any, consequences to your performance in the MicroMasters, because by the time you take the CFX, you want to have proctoring figured out so it's not a stressor to you, because the CFX will be proctored the whole time. The CFX consists of 2 2-hour exams, and you have 12 hours to complete them both. So many learners will take test 1, then take a break, maybe use the restroom, get a drink of water, clear their head, come back and take exam 2, We'll talk about all those test taking strategies with you as you get closer to the exam, but know that it covers everything over 2 exams. And we'll be reaching out to you in the coming weeks.
And I wanted to highlight the importance of this break in between both exams, since while you are taking the exam, you cannot leave the room. So that's very important that we offer this break that can be 30 minutes or 1 hour or the time that you need within the 12 hours window in order to take your break and then be ready just to be in front of the camera and take the exam during these 2 hours, because in this time you cannot talk to anyone, you cannot leave the room.
Yeah, and it's kind of a weird thing. I know in normal life, you can get up and use the restroom when you need to. You can, briefly chat with someone at work that you need to. But again, we're kind of really pioneering rigorous online education. And one of the challenges of that is making sure that everyone can perform the way we will vouch for your performance. So can you do the work just like we say you can? That requires online proctoring, which means, just like Ava said, for a couple hours, you can't talk with other people. You can't get up from your desk. You need to just sit down and do that exam under the webcam eye. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more towards the end of the event about what happens next for you in your MicroMasters experience. Please bring in questions. It looks like the vast majority, 87% of you are planning to take the CFX. That's great. You're going to hear from us a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Fresh Connection. Around 400 of you registered to play. Thank you so much. It's been fun watching your performance. Just as a side note that I liked, we had some great team names. I always get a kick out of those. Han Shot First, a brave Star Wars reference. I appreciated that one. European Quality Food and Service, very professional. I like it. A Wild Guess, that's sort of how I played too. The Fruit Deal, Supply Chain Champ. There are a lot of great team names, but I just picked out some. And a big congratulations to Team 2614 that had the highest weighted return on investment. But number 2 and 3 were really close too. Those 8% ROIs are really good.
These are great results. We have been running this on campus for more than 6 years. It's really tough to see this high ROI and these results. So you are doing great. Awesome. And also 400 teams registered is a high participation. Yeah. That's great.
Thank you guys. And I've noticed in the forums, you're talking, you're excited. That's great. I just put here what it is in the blue line is it's the performance of the winning team over a group sort of average with range in the gray shading. So what I thought was really neat here is, as you remember, you start in round 0 with a negative ROI of, I think it was 3.96%. And then you hope to get better, which we all do. And this team really did that. So look at how in round 1, it doesn't get changed that much. Up to 2, they're doing great. By 4, they're obviously well ahead of the pack. And at the same time, we can see how they did it. We can see their costs reducing. Round 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're bringing their costs down. But if you look at that last graph, they're not really incurring penalties as they lower their costs. So they're continuing to meet their service requirements at a lower cost. Really very effective supply chain management. And what was interesting to me is when I looked at their agreed shelf life, that's that third chart in there, they brought it down. They saw between round 1 and round 2 that their supply chain wasn't a high agreed shelf life percentage, it was a lower one, and they really delivered on that promise. So great job, 2614, integrating your supply chain decisions and getting a lot out of the game.
Yeah, and also for the Fresh Connection, the most important thing for you is just to play the game, is just to apply some of the concept that you have learned in our program and take risks. So the most important thing is not the result by itself, is how this tool help you to learn and to apply the concept in a kind of realistic environment or a kind of a real company. And this is the main purpose, allow you to apply this concept, to play. It's a kind of end-to-end simulation game. So that's the purpose, to have fun and to learn.
Okay, it looks like most of you are going to take the CFX, and I just opened up, as we go into some other things, opened up a forum to ask you about the Fresh Connection. It's something that we really incorporate into a lot of our offerings here. So tell us what you thought about it, what you learned. Just like Ava said, we're hoping that you would see how your decisions interact with one another. We don't plan to make you the best fresh connection players, but we want to encourage you to think about how supply chain actors are integrated. So let us know what you thought. Did it help you learn? Did you have fun? Did you have time? I mean, we're very conscious of the fact that you are busy people with jobs and oftentimes families and other community responsibilities. Did you have time to play? And if you did, was it fun? And did you learn from it?
And also, would you recommend us to continue offering that, or do you think that it's better not to offer because you don't have time or whatever? Yeah. Any feedback is well received.
Yeah, please let us know. And don't forget, on Slido, you can ask us questions too. Towards the end of the live event, we're going to go to those questions and hopefully answer everything that we can. So I think next, Ava will tell you a little bit about what happens next after you hopefully are successful in the final and you go on to the CFX and you become a credential holder.
Excellent. So yes, what I want is just to highlight, because we are aware about the effort of this program. We are also aware about the long journey. We know that most of you started with us maybe more than 1 year ago. So it's a long journey with a lot of effort, and you are investing a lot during each course, 8 to 10 hours of effort in each of the SCX courses. Most of you are now at the very end. You need to take the final exam. Hopefully you are going to pass this final exam and then be ready for the CFX. So the comprehensive final exam is an extra effort, and it's a pure assessment effort. However, as I mentioned, we are doing that in order to provide value to the credential. And there are different, our value proposition for this credential is in different ways. One thing is for career development. We are also working with companies, with the industry, in order for them to recognize the MicroMaster credential as a way to hire people in supply chain management. The MicroMaster credential provides you a lot of all of the fundamentals and basic concepts in supply chain management. And this is one of the profession now that there is a gap of talent that many different organizations are highlighting. So there are opportunities in supply chain management to work and to apply all of the concept or some of the concept that you have learned in our program. So career development is one thing. And we know that some of our learners are using this credential in order to promote in their current positions. Some of our learners are using the MicroMaster because they are, let's say, working in finance, in marketing, in another field, and they decide that they want to learn more about supply chain management in order to apply for a position and a job in supply chain management. So there are people that are doing that, and we have great examples from learners that move from one field to supply chain management, and they are now enjoying to be working in this field. In addition to that, the MicroMaster is also a pathway for a master degree. A master degree here at MIT, we call this master degree the blended master degree. And the reason we call it blended master degree is only those learners who complete and pass the MicroMaster credential can apply to this master degree in supply chain management. The MicroMaster credential is going to be equivalent to 1 full semester on campus. It's equivalent to 42 units of credits of credits of work here at MIT. So those learners who apply to the blended master degree, they get admitted in the master degree in supply chain management, they only need to spend 1 full semester on campus. Our learners arrive on campus in January, and they complete the master degree in May. They graduate in May. So we have already generate 2 cohorts of graduate students here at MIT. I think we have a nice picture of the very first cohort at MIT. We are the cohort, the size of the cohort is 40 students. These are the very first 40 students, the first promotion of SCM, Supply Chain Management Master Degree cohort. Last June, we graduate 36 students. We have already admitted more than 40 students for the next year. So we are looking forward to receiving our next cohort this January here on campus.
And I really hope you apply. It's such a neat thing to combine the MicroMasters with the on-campus experience. excuse me. And we've seen in our studies and in my on-campus course that I'm leading, the blended students are really good. The people who come from the MicroMasters with the credential are some of the best in the, regardless if you're blended or residential. There's really strong performance by the blended students, and we're really proud of that accomplishment.
Definitely, very enthusiastic, very hard workers, and yeah, and you have been working hard with us for almost 1 year. So yeah, this is a great cohort of students. We we are part of the MicroMaster team, so we love to see our MicroMaster holders coming here and be part of this blended degree too.
And just a plug for SC4x, for those of you that struggled with your sequel, one of the things that you do as part of a master's program is a research project working with company data. And I've certainly seen the learners that come in through the MicroMasters program that already know SQL, already know something about machine learning, are really in a great position to do great projects. So really encourage you to go forward with that.
Totally. In addition to MIT, there are more universities across the world that they are also offering master degrees as a pathway for MicroMaster holders. Arizona State, ASU, recently announced an online master degree in supply chain management. So this is also an opportunity for MicroMaster holders to apply to a 100% online master degree. There are also other universities across the world that they are also offering a similar experience as we are offering at MIT, a blended experience, an on-campus master degree that is the second part of the MicroMaster credentials. So, and you have universities like Rochester Institute of Technology, Purdue University, Zaragoza Logistics Center in Spain. Also, Malaysia Institute is offering an accelerated way to earn a master degree in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. There are some universities and opportunities in Australia. We have a good representation of universities. We have University of Queensland, we have Curtin University, Duang University, also some universities in South America, Central America. So it's a good representation of different universities offering this pathway for credit. So just wanted to let you know that there are many opportunities to continue advancing your academic career, or just to use the credential, the MicroMaster credential, as a standalone certificate to apply for a job in supply chain management. So yeah, so that's for all of these reasons is why I really encourage you to take the final stretch, the final push with the CFX in order to have your credential. Yeah.
One thing just to add to that, Ava and her team are always working on getting new opportunities for the credential holders. So one of them is these opportunities to apply that credit towards many great universities all over the world. But she has to trust that you are as good as she's telling people you are. So that's part of why we have to do all of this proctoring. We can't be sending people out into the world with these special opportunities that can't complete the work that we're telling people you can do.
Yeah, and we trust you guys. The question is, we need also to demonstrate to other universities that they need to trust all of us. So that's why it's a question of,
So I think we also have some other opportunities.
Yeah, there are also other opportunities. We are working here at CTL in offering a bunch of blended options. Thanks to the MicroMaster, we learn that the combination of online education with on-campus techniques is very powerful. We really learn that certain contents are very good to be taught online. And we were really impressed in a positive way about how our learners in the MicroMaster credential learn and came to the campus and applied their concept, and as Dave mentioned, they are outstanding learners. So this is something that we are trying to encourage and offer different portfolio of products. One product that we are offering, and this is going to happen this July, but all of the summers we are planning to offer a bootcamp. Bootcamp is a 6 days intense experience here at MIT. So we know that some of our learners, they cannot afford, or they do not have the time to spend one full semester on campus in order to get a master degree. However, we receive many requests from our learners in order to have some MIT experience, on-campus, in-person experience. So bootcamp is kind of is intended to offer this complement in a very intense and packed way. It's just 1 week of interaction here at MIT with MIT researchers, with MIT faculties, with the latest trends in technology, with a lot of industry speakers. We have designed the bootcamp in a very interactive and dynamic way. We want to complement this online education with a lot of teamwork, peer interaction with the staff, interaction with the researchers. So it's going to be very interactive. This July, the last week of July, in between July 28th and August 2nd, we are having our 2019 bootcamp. And now it's also open the application for bootcamp 2020. So this is an offer that we are also sharing with our learners. Finally, I really want to highlight our one of the best things that we have in this program that is our learners and the community of learners. I want also to mention that Arthur Grau, our community manager, he's doing a great job helping our learners to spontaneously create meetup groups, to have some groups meeting in Peru, Lima, in Chicago, in Australia, in Hong Kong, in many different cities. Every single time that Chris Kaplis, myself, any member of my team, Dave, we are traveling to a conference, we always announce we are going to be there because we always want to meet with our group of learners that are living in this city. So this is something that is happening in different ways. In a spontaneous way, Arthur is also pushing a lot and creating this excellent community of learners. So just wanted to show you that this is one of the best things we have. And since most of you are at the very end of the journey in the MicroMaster, what I really encourage you is to join our MicroMaster portal. The MicroMaster portal is the way to be in touch after completing your courses, after completing this comprehensive final exam with the MicroMaster team. And Arthur is our community manager, as I mentioned, and he's there. He's posting any job opening, any news, any event, any new opportunity for MicroMaster holders are posted in this MicroMaster portal. So this is something that if you can do today, better than tomorrow. Enroll in the MicroMaster portal and be in touch with us. I think all of the opportunities we are going to share there. One more thing for MicroMaster holders, those who complete the program and earn the credential, you will receive a letter from Chris and myself highlighting all of the effort, all of the providing a detailed explanation about the program, so you can use this for promoting in a job or applying in a job in order to provide more information about the credential by itself and the program and all of the things that you achieve with this credential. And in order to get this letter, you need to be part of this MicroMaster portal.
So please, you should have the link in multiple places, and of course, reach out to us if you can't connect with it. But it's a great way to find out what's going on, when the next boot camp is, all of that information that Ava mentioned. Gosh, we're going to go to your questions now, but I know Ava and I both wanted to say hello to learner Talha, who wrote such a beautiful so thank you so much. The staff here works hard to try to do a good job for you, and thank you so much, Talha, for letting us know where we got it right. Appreciate it.
We really appreciate your kind words, Taha. I also love your comment about I really like the rigorous learning experience. Yes, this is what we really want to offer, a rigorous, fun, best learning experience to our learners. So I really like that. Keep in touch with us, Talha, through the MicroMaster portal. Keep up the good work. All of you guys go and take the CFX. And we always appreciate your kind words because, this team, and especially my course leads, they are investing a lot of effort and a lot of time in providing this best learning experience to you guys. So we really appreciate these kind words that sometimes make our day easier and motivate us with even more energy to continue with the program. So thank you so much.
Gosh, so I've approved all the questions that you've put in. We're going to answer, or we're going to address as many as we can. And if we don't have the answer, you can stay in touch with us. You can upvote questions. You're probably familiar with Slido. So the ones with the most votes will be at the top. But I think we have enough that we can at least take a look at all of them. So the first one, Sumant asks about the proctoring vendor. We really don't probably have a direct answer on that, but if learners want us to look at that, we will. So thank you for telling us.
Yeah, I need to say that we, in collaboration with edX, we are actively looking for other vendors. We are also actively looking for the best solution in the world in order to provide the best proctoring experience. So we are always looking into that, analyzing that. Things take time. And it's not just to change a vendor. There need to be a lot of integration. But just to let you know that we are always trying to provide the best learning experience as far as we can. Working with the current PSI is also trying to improve their own software. They update the version. They are working in more upgrades of the current version, and we are also investigating different software. So thank you for bringing that. Yeah, we are always actively looking into different solutions.
And some of you might remember when we started the course, I told you that we were going to have 2 proctored assignments. And then around week 2, I emailed you and said, no, only 1. And part of that was because we had almost had a beta test set up with a new solution, but it turns out that technology just wasn't ready in time for our course. Yeah. So we hear you, Sumant, and we're working on, and maybe this vendor will have the best solution, but we're taking that concern seriously. But thank you for letting us know that it's still on your mind. Yeah. Edmund asks, can we apply for the blended program after the result of the CFX to begin in September 2020?
Yeah, so you can apply for the next blended master degree, yes, right away. I think applications are going to be open and they close in November, the first round. I think so. In any case, you can go to the blended master degree at MIT and double check the date, the deadline for applying. But there is one round for sure in fall, and the second round is going to be right after the next CFX in March. So you can apply to that. However, our blended master degree arrived on campus in January. So your information is correct. You can apply now, but this is just to be ready for the 2021 cohort. We already have the 2020 cohort, and now it's open the application deadline for the 2021 cohort. So yes, if you are interested, I encourage you to go to the blended master degree website here at MIT and look to the deadlines. But there is one this fall and another one, the second round is very early in April.
And those are pretty well coordinated. So yeah, we know that you need the CFX score to apply, and so oftentimes our teams are running back and forth to make sure the scores are ready. So there is a coordination there, and hopefully you'll take it and apply, and we'll see you here on campus pretty soon.
If you are interested, I encourage you to apply as soon as possible. You need to prepare some additional information. It's not only the scores. You need to prepare recommendation letters, a video, a statement of a project. So you need to prepare something. So if you are interested, have a look as soon as possible. Yeah.
So Eric asks, for the blended program, how important is the CFX grade versus the individual SCX course grades?
Good. That's a great question. So as you can imagine, all of your grades matter, and the committee is looking into all of your grades in the 5 SCX courses and the CFX. What I can tell you is that on average, the performance in the SCX courses is a bit higher than in the CFX. So the committee takes into consideration the score of the individual and also the average score of the class, the median score of the class. So we always know the percentage of ABCD learners that we have in each course and in the CFX. Typically CFX, as I mentioned, the average score is around 75%, isn't it? Around that. So yeah, we take all of these things into consideration. Try to make our best decision. But yes, we consider all of these things.
This is maybe a follow-up. It's got 4 votes, so it's on people's mind. Vinayak asked more about the profile of the blended learner. Is work experience part of the admissions? And to be clear, we're not the blended admissions people, but I know Ava knows a lot about
yes, experience also matter, and we take into consideration. So if you are interested, go to the website and see all of the criteria. I want to tell you that MicroMaster performance is one part of this of the criteria, but there are more things than that. And experience in supply chain management is also something that we take into consideration. The profile. We have people that apply with more than 7 years of experience in supply chain management. We have also people with 3 years of experience. We have different profiles. So if you are interested, have a look into the criteria. I will encourage you to apply because we take into consideration many different things, the whole profile of the learner. So, yeah.
A lot of votes here for Suman's question about you got a great score on the Fresh Connection and you're not sure how to be a part of the global challenge. That's really a question for our Fresh Connection vendor. I don't know that we have the answer. Send us your details to 4xhelp@mit.edu. We'll try to connect you. But I think, as I recall, we can look at that. There should be some instructions on your dashboard screen when you open up the game. But if those are incomplete, we can try to connect you with the person that can answer that.
We are not making that decision. That decision relies on the Fresh Connection vendor. Yeah.
Sneha asks, is the CFX multiple choice questions, do we have to use any software for the CFX?
So the only software we are allowing you to use during the CFX is Excel. That's all. Isn't it? That's all. It's just Excel. Instructions are very clear, and because of that, we designed the CFX taking this into consideration. So Excel is the only tool that you are allowed to use during the CFX.
So keep in mind, though, 4X learners, everything we did with SQL and machine learning, conceptually, we could still ask you about. So I could ask you, is k-means clustering supervised or unsupervised? You don't need Orange, but you need to know the machine learning content that we used Orange for. We could also show you a SQL query and ask you if it is the correct query to answer a certain question. So you won't need to install it or download it, but you should still keep those key lessons in your mind. You'll only need Excel.
Fully agree. Yeah, that's a great comment.
I'm going to go straight to Kyle's question. Do you recommend taking the in-person CFX if you are able? Like we said, that won't be an option.
No, it's a 100% online proctor experience. We are not offering any in-person CFX anymore. So should be online. That's why it's so important that you took the current proctor graded assignment in SC4x. Also, once we open the CFX, you always have the opportunity to download a proctor test. How is this called? Proctor test? Proctor practice test. So you can download the software in order to be familiar before the actual exam, but you can only take it online.
I see Alberico asked, a number of you asked about, you said that I didn't have time to play the Fresh Connection this time around. Could I re-enroll in the next run of 4X just to play the Fresh Connection, and do I have to pay? I think the answer to that is probably that's not the best strategy. And I guess I know that's a wishy-washy answer in that we're always redesigning our content. So, we can't guarantee now that the Fresh Connection will be part of 4X next run. It could be part of a different course in future runs. And also, you know, the fresh connection, I'm not sure on the expense, but it's typically a for-pay learning tool. So we're thinking about, we don't want to keep it open all the time for everyone to continuously play, because it really is, you know, there's server space required, there's staff required to run it. So
Yeah.
that was sort of a long way to say probably that won't work, but thank you so much for liking the game.
Yeah.
Eric asks, when will the CFX be made available? The test is coming up in September, and if you are eligible, you're going to receive lots of information about that.
And if not, reach out to us, but most likely you will hear from us soon.
Sneha, I don't understand your question about the week 10 email, so maybe send that to SC4x help if you have any concerns. Definitely, we have a final exam. So if anything led you to believe otherwise, please let us know. A few more questions here. We should probably go, but I'm so excited to hear from all of you. Vinyak asks, once we register for the CFX, do we get a full-time practice test just to get an idea about the time and format?
You will have all of the instructions. We are providing also some kind of similar problems for you to practice. And we are also providing the practice proctor test. So we are providing a bunch of material in order to help you to prepare for the comprehensive final exam. I also recommend you to go to your previous courses and review the graded assignment and go through some of the videos just to refresh the main concepts that we have taught in each of the SCX courses. And graded assignment might be a good way to go in order to refresh the key concepts and the topics that we have taught in these previous courses.
Absolutely. Graded assignments, practice problems, quick questions, all those things that you can access again. Great tools. And I think that gets to Mohammed's highly upvoted question, how to prepare for the CFX exam. You know, we'll be talking to you about it more as it goes ahead, but exactly what Ava said. Look at the old material, review your KCDs.
And I want to separate two things. One is review all of the content, and the tips are what we just said. The second thing is to be prepared for all of the logistics associated to the software by itself. So for that, I highly encourage you to read the instructions. We have spent a lot of time preparing these instructions for you step by step. So please read the instructions, download the practice proctor test, and try to be ready for that. Because, and one more thing, you need to be verified and ID verified in the CFX rank. If not, you are not allowed to take the exam. So there are two things for me. Prepare for the exam by itself, for the questions, and review the content. And another thing is to spend some time reading the instructions carefully and be ready in advance, downloading the practice proctor test, so you will be sure that you are not running into any technical issue that, the exam is open for during 72 hours. So it's a limited time, so you need to be ready for that. So be ready for both things, the content and the logistics.
And just one little addition there, just because I want you all to succeed, and this is a easy pitfall to avoid. Sometimes people don't ID verify until too late, because it can take a few days for ID verification to process. So if you do that the day before the CFX, we've had the very unfortunate case where it just takes too long to happen. So it's an easy thing that if you start thinking about it now, you can make sure, you know, you might have some problems in life, but you won't have that one. So you can take care of that. Susie asks about the key concept documents and videos during the CFX.
Yeah, this is a great question, Susie. Thanks for bringing that. Key concept document, you are allowed to use only the version of the key concept document that we are providing through the CFX. You are not allowed to use any other version of the key concept document or any other note or document, Word document or Excel document that you are pre-filled and you want to open. You are not allowed to use that. Only the key concept PDF document that we are offering to you through the exam. This is one thing. Regarding watching videos during the CFX, you are not allowed to do that. You cannot watch any video. You cannot open any other website. You cannot open any slide deck. You cannot open any pre-filled spreadsheet. It's just a blank exam. You are allowed to open a blank spreadsheet in order to use this as a tool for you to help to do the math that you need to do, and to help you answering the questions. That's all. And regarding the key concept document, the one that we provide is not an open book CFX.
Thank you so much for all your great questions. I think these will be the last ones that we can approve since we have to go on to some other meetings. George asks, what happens if there's a connection issue during the CFX? Can George retake it during that run, or does he have to wait to the next one?
So I would say here, plan in advance. Try to look for a space that you can guarantee that you will have internet connectivity during the exam. We cannot guarantee any reset or any opportunity to retake during that time. So my recommendation is plan in advance. Where you are planning to take the CFX, be sure that the internet connectivity is going to work properly. Be sure that you have your software up to date, the Chrome, Google Chrome, or Internet Safari, or whichever browser you are going to use up to date. Be sure about all of these things, and be prepared for taking this 2 hours and 2 hours exam in a place that you can ensure internet connectivity. It's an online program, so you need to be connected in order to take the exam. So this is mandatory.
Anya, thank you so much for your question and saying that you enjoy learning with us. We like learning with you. And this is just a slide from before, just so you have the same information everybody had. Your final exam will have 4 multi-part problems. You'll have 4 hours to complete it. It covers everything in the course, and be sure that your computer has MySQL and Orange ready. Just like the midterm, you will not receive feedback, as we're using this just as an assessment. Aziz, thank you so much for your comment about the bandwidth issues. That's something we're keeping an eye on. So sorry that you experienced the trouble, and thank you for letting us know. Send any documentation or anything like that to 4X Help. It will help us resolve what's going forward. Last one, Waldo asks about tips for research project on the blended application.
For that, if you are interested in the blended program, send us a note and we will put you in touch with the blended team. They typically do some webinar, and they provide some specific information with tips about all of the process and how to prepare this kind of documents. So we will be very happy to put you in contact with the blended master degree team, and they will facilitate all the tips and recommendations they have for that.
All right. Thank you so much for your attention, for your questions, for all the time that you've given to not only SC4X, but the whole MicroMasters program. We really enjoy learning with you too.
Keep up the good work. I hope to see you in the CFX. Thank you.